Well, there it is, folks. October 18th, 2023. The year of our Lord. And man, I hate to be always right. You know, I don't know why I go against my instinct feeling. You know, you have this instinct feeling for a reason. You know, it's like Morgan Freeman said, you know who I listen to? I listen to that voice, that instinct that's connected to the universe, that voice of reason, that voice of instinct. You know, you just get that feeling, you get that, feeling like, And I told my friend Brendan, I'm worried about this game. I really am. I'm not so sure. We talked about it, privately on our Twitter. But here's the reviews, and my worst fears have come true. Just when I had this hope, this last resort hope, and that hope has been crushed. Let's read the reviews, shall we? This guy has already refunded the game. It took me all but 26 minutes to request a refund on this. Developers put zero care into optimization. The most basic options, such as unbinding keys, it's missing and considered to be added later. You have absolutely no customization option when it comes to your steering sensitivity, which makes using a gamepad even worse than using a mouse and keyboard. A partner radio that believes interrupting a song every 30 seconds for a 5-word snippet of a commentary, and a drop that made me quit is the fact that game uses roughly 25% of my CPU and yet hard locks in the temperatures of 78 Celsius. Avoid this like a black plague until patches are out or the developers are actually bothered responding to issues that requires more effort than asking for hardware specs, or it's not in the game, but I'll write it down to consider it. And then you have this guy says, okay, first off, the game, it's amazing. Graphics are good. Gameplay, it's smooth. In areas, there are a few bugs. But the game, it's playable. Also, this is driving survival game. You will have to eat and sleep. The details are amazing. Having to manually connect your pigtails and raise lower the landing gear. All right, so, this guy probably, it's a little bit on a fanboy side, But that's okay, But I wouldn't consider this a helpful review. Like, he's saying everything's good. I need you to go into details, my friend. You can't just tell me, everything's good. There might be some bumps here and there. You got to give me a full description, detailed review. And then we got this one guy over here, Ushrated TTV. I love the idea that this game brings to trucking simulators, the element of surviving out in harsh environments of Alaska. It's such a cool concept. Unfortunately, the biggest part of the game and the thing you will be doing the most, the driving. And the driving, it's very poor. The controls feel like there's an input delay and are not smooth. This makes driving quite uncomfortable. I would love to see the developers work on improving the feel of the driving and make the steering feel smoother and less clunky. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this game right now, but hopefully in the future when the controls feel better, I can change that. That's a good review. That tells me that they haven't fixed the controls and the ability to adjust the sensitivity, which is very important. Okay, let's look at this one. For now, I don't know what to think. There's definitely some things that need further development. These are the pros and cons. Pros are more in depth than ETS and ATS, which is Euro Truck and American Truck, which is nice. Actually being able to hook up, unhook your trailer is nice. The survival aspect around the game, nice interface for the trucks, being able to interact with your mouse, handbrake, etc. Cons: AI traffic. Traffic does an emergency stop every time. You go from 55 miles to 50 miles. Speed limit, normal traffic will slow down gradually. That is apparently not possible here. Truck handling: if you drive 40-50 miles an hour, you can barely turn. Of course, you wouldn't be able to do a 90 degree turn IRL, but at least a slight bend should be possible without either going 90 degree with your wheel. So there seems to be an issue. What I'm seeing here, there seems to be a lot of issue with the way game handles with a controller and the racing wheel. And they're talking about the speed, and when you're going 40 and 50 miles an hour, you can't really turn that wheel really fast as you would to a 90 degree as you would with the American Truck, Euro Truck. Oh, there's Mikal, developer. Thank you for the review. Receiving detailed feedback on areas that can be improved is crucial to us, as we would like for you to have the best experience possible while playing our game. I'm glad to hear that despite the cons, some elements of the game were received positively by you. We have noted your observation, and we will do our best to improve the game in these areas. All right, I have to kind of comment on this, and I like Mikal. I had a chance to go to Discord and talk to the guy. I don't know him personally, but he was fun to very pleasant and fun experience to talk to him on the Discord. Here's what I want to say, Mikal. I don't know if you have seen, I don't know how much of my videos did you actually watch. I don't know how much you know about my YouTube channel, and I don't know what you have heard. But if you look at my videos, I try to be as direct, as honest, and straightforward as possible. And one of the things that I always talk about, if you watch my Truck Driver, The American Dream live streaming videos, one of the things I always mention is, why do we always end up in this same scenario? One of the main reasons why we do beta testing and open testing on the beta is to fix these issues so they don't show up on the final release date. That is the whole point of doing the play test, doing the beta testing, and these are the things that you need to look into before you decide to release the game. Look at the statistics, right, Mikal? Here's my feedback, Mikal. Look at statistics. What is it that people want? Look at the majority. So majority statistic wants support for wheel. They want to have a better control on the wheel. And that's the major thing that they're looking for. So if I'm working with you and I'm working for your company and you're the developer, you're the boss, what I would tell you is, Mikal, let's look at statistics. Let's look at the statistics. Statistics are saying that majority wants to be able to turn that wheel 90 degrees as you would normally with the real truck, to be able to go to a certain speed that feels like you're going to a certain speed, to be able to adjust the sensitivity and compatibility with various different racing wheels. That might require us to talk to Logitech, to talk to Thrustmaster, but I'm pretty sure they would respond. They always do when it comes to developers, when they're making simulator games like this one. So, and if the game is not ready, then we would have to postpone it till further notice. That's the whole idea of doing a open beta playtest. Is to get the feedback. But you have to really seriously look at that feedback and say, okay, majority wants this. They're not happy with the controls. They're not happy with the lack of ability to adjust the sensitivity on a wheel. Because you know majority of people who are going to be playing this on a PC. We're not talking about a console, Mikhail. We're talking about a PC. Majority of people who are going to be playing this on a PC are using their setup racing wheels. And that's the first thing they're going to complain about, is the controls and how the truck is being handled with the controls. And that should have been your main focus, to focus on that. All right, let's look at the other comment. For now, I don't know what to think. There's definitely some things that need further development. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. I love the idea that this game brings to trucking simulators the element of survival out in the harsh environments. I already read that. I want to like this game. This is from Majesty with 2 Y's. I want to like this game, but I just can't in the current state. Invisible walls that make you crash. The AI never drives faster than 25, 30 miles per hour, which feels like walking home drunk from the bar speed. 15 miles feels like you are crawling. I won't make a refund. I may change this review in the future. Hi, this is developer. Obey. Oh, how convenient for a developer to be obeyed. Hi, and thanks for the review. If you experience lower frame rate, share your PC specs. Provide screenshots of your screen. All right. There's a lot of negative reviews, guys. Same devs from the model builder involved. They abandoned the game months ago. Nicely packed with bugs and promised features never delivered. Think well about it before wasting your money. No one mentioned Road Studio. I wrote devs like you, or D.O. ban. Road Studio, this is from developer. Road Studio never developed or were involved in development of model builder. I tell you something. When I first played the demo of the Alaskan truck simulator before they changed the name, I loved the fact that I was thrown in a cold, harsh environment, and I don't know, the game felt different. To be honest with you, it felt different. It felt like the American truck in Alaska with a harsh environment. And I don't know, again, I don't know who was the developer for that build, so I don't know. They're claiming the Road Studio was not involved, so I don't know. This guy here, Fixter, a goat fixter with a lot of money, top G. This is a top G goat. This guy recommends it. I'm about an hour into this. I decided to take a little break and get back to load into my save, but it seems to be stuck on the loading screen. After 50 minutes, and it's still continuing to try and load. A bit of a bummer. So this guy gave it a thumbs up, but he's having an issue loading. Let's see. This guy said, unfortunately, I can't recommend this game. This is from Afi Find You. Afi Find You. Unfortunately, I can't recommend the game for people who want to use non-Logitech steering wheels. The game has no steering wheel support and requires you to have a Logitech G Hub. Oh God. Logitech G Hub. Unfortunately, it This will only work if your Logitech G Hub recognizes your steering wheel. For instance, I'm using a Thrustmaster T300 RS, which has PlayStation buttons and won't be recognized by G Hub. Well, it's not good. This is one of those games where I wish there was a neutral review option. This from Phoenix Cat. I wish that there was a neutral review option. Instead, I have to give it a negative one. Although I see a lot of positives to like about the game. First off, on the technical side, this is a Unreal Engine 4 game, and if you're familiar with how to tweak Unreal Engine 4 indie files, you can tweak it. A lot of things that aren't available in the game. Let me just get to the bottom. This guy's writing love and peace. See what it says at the end. Overall, it just feels like a very buggy and poorly title with a lot of potential. If devs is able to fix the bugs and implement player feedback over the coming months. Well, look, they're obviously reading the comments and they're gonna take this feedback. But I think, and I'm gonna say in the closing comments, I almost said closet. In the closing comments, I will emphasize on how I feel about this whole thing. Let's see. It's mixed, and needs a lot more work. We'll check again in the future. But I had to request a refund after 8 minutes of play. Sorry. That's not good, man. Reminds me, this guy, Max Rider, reminds me of an early 2000s truck game. This guy says, this is Phoenix again. I can totally see a potential, but there's yet a lot of work to be done, a lot of bugs, etc. Like steering is weird because it can't directly read my wheel, and when I press something, my steering wheel disconnects with the game. Long story short, it's sadly not worth the money yet. If all bugs are fixed, then it will be worth the money. And this guy over here, Obey Developer, says, we tested the game on many different steering wheels. You can see the guide. He says there's a chance your wheel, however, he says there's a chance your wheel, especially it's an older, may cause some issues. Yeah, but you don't know what kind of wheel he has, Sounds like developers are doing some damage control here, making it look like it's his fault. Your wheel is old or something. So what are you supposed to do? Buy a new wheel, more expensive wheel? Let's see. This guy over here, Keeper of the Keys. It could be a good game. I play with a controller, and you can't steer the truck with a controller at the very beginning. You need a keyboard to type a name in. There's a few updates, I guess. I'll be waiting for after waiting years to play this game. Sad face. The developer, again, Obey, says, thanks for review. Can you share more specific via Steam discussion? We're committed to fix issues like this. All right, as you can see, I can spend half an hour to an hour reading all of these negative comments. Bad, not worth $20. Listen, there's a lot of negative comments. It's mixed reviews. It's not looking good. The guy says the game is far ready from being released, in my opinion. Concept is great, however, the graphics are terrible and gameplay is glitchy. The map keeps glitching and it's slow to load anything but roads when driving. Hopefully it will be updated fairly soon. All right, so after 18 minutes of me reading all these negative comments, here's what I want to say, and I think this is the part where majority of you are going to be skipping to hear what I have to say. For those of you who know me, for those of you who have been following me, you know how I am, you know how I roll on my channel. For those of you who do not know me, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mr. 4K Upscaler. You probably know me from the guy who did televisions back in 2016, 2017, 2018, right? But then I switched gears and started getting more into video games. And I started doing this as a hobby, to play video games, to do live streams. And one of the things I do when I'm doing my live streams, when I'm looking at the video game, when I'm reviewing a video game through a live stream, I analyze everything. And I have a lot to say about it when I'm analyzing the game, when I'm playing through it. And one of the things that I always say, and that I've been preaching with games like the Truck Driver American Dream, games like Callisto Protocol, and various other games in the past, one of the things that I talked about is the same principles to what I have preached apply to every developer. I don't care if you're a big-time developer, small-time developer, mobile games developer, I don't care. I put everyone in the same pot, okay? And what principle that I'm talking about applies to all developers, I shall explain. The principle of making sure after you do playtest beta, closed beta, open beta, various different open betas, to collect the feedback and look at the feedback on what is it that majority are complaining about. After 12 months of, let's say, beta testing or play testing, you collect the data and you look at statistics, and through those statistics you can look and you can say, well, let's look at statistics. All right, this is a minority here that's complaining about other things. We're not going to ignore them either. We're going to keep that also in consideration. But let's focus on the majority here. Majority over here, it's complaining about X, Y, and Z. And the X, Y, and Z, it's something we need to focus on before we are ready to give a final date release to release our game. So let's focus on that. Let's work on that. And this applies to every developer. So what am I saying? What I'm essentially saying, test everything and listen to the majority, what majority wants. If majority says they want a good control on the steering wheel, where they can do a 90-degree left and right, where they can adjust their sensitivity on the steering wheel, sensitivity on the clutch, on the shifter, on the gas, brake, things like that. The advanced features of sensitivity, right? And if that's what the majority wants, you as a developer, you focus on that. That should be your main focus, to focus on that. And I feel that in the past year and a half, or let's say 3 years, past 3 years, developers keep to be making the same mistake of not listening to majority of what the majority want. You know, it's statistics. I'm not saying you should ignore minority. You should also look at what the minority want as well. But your main focus should be majority, because majority is the one that counts. They're the ones that are going to give you positive feedback, and they're the ones that are going to drive the sales of your game to become even more successful. And I see this happening in the past 3 years all the time. And I've been preaching about this on my live streams. I talked about this. I preached about this constantly. I talked about this. And I feel that developers just don't seem to get it. It's either A, they don't get it, or they don't care, or maybe it's just they're willing to roll the dice. I'm not sure which one it is. And I don't know how they always end up in the same situation. You would think that these developers would learn from Soedesco, and let's not do what Soedesco did, or let's not do what these guys did over here. Let's focus on doing what we're doing, but let's work with the community and let's listen to the majority of what the majority wants. Yes, I know it's a survival game. Yes, you can walk around and do all that. But first and foremost, it's a trucking simulator. And most of the time, you'll be driving a truck. And majority of people on the PC are going to be using their racing setup wheels. If this was on a console, it wouldn't be that much of an issue if this was on a console. But since this is on a PC, you guys have to keep in mind that majority on the PC are going to be using their expensive racing wheel setups. And you need to be working on that. You need to contact the manufacturers from Logitech, from Fanatic, Thrustmaster, etc., etc., etc. Because that's what SCS Software did. They got in touch with all the manufacturers, and they got all the necessary blueprints to make sure that the drivers are working with their games, meaning their racing wheels. I wish that I could be on a board meeting with some of these developers. I wish I could be involved to help like an advisor. I wish that I could be like an advisor to advise on what to do. I think having my experience and expertise would definitely help put the developers on the right track so they don't end up with the same old, here we go again, right? Here we go again, releasing the game buggy and unfinished. Same thing with Payday 3, right? And servers are not working. They haven't tested the servers. This is like some kind of like a reoccurring thing that I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, yes, I'm a Bosnian American. Yes, I was born in Bosnia, but I came to America as a teenager. But I'm pretty sure my Bosnian American accent, it's very easy to understand. I mean, I think I speak good English. And I've been preaching about this. I've been talking about this. And it just feels to me like people are listening. Developers are listening, but they're not registering. See, that's the difference. We all have ears. We all hear. Yes, you can hear. But they're not registering. It's like hearing a noise, but you're not registering where that noise is coming from and what it is. I don't want to waste any more time. I really didn't plan on doing this video for half an hour. But there's so much here I had to cover. I had to read. And there's so much I had to get off my chest. It was simply impossible for me to make this video any shorter than half an hour. And I know some of you are going to be skipping, and that's fine by me. But just remember, there was no any other way for me to make this video any shorter because there's so much I had to cover here. There's so many grounds I have to cover here, and there's so much I had to say that might be useful for the developers in the future to avoid these unnecessary mistakes. So that's all I have to say. Am I going to buy the game? Am I going to play it? I don't know, man. There's a Spider-Man 2 coming out tomorrow midnight. I want to play that, With this one, I don't know. I might have to wait a little bit. If I had a code, if they gave me the code, I would be more than happy to play it and to give you my feedback. But I know it's only $20, but I'm hurting for money, guys. Money doesn't grow in the trees for me either. It's a tough financial situation these days. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. And, maybe for you, $20, it's nothing. But for me, yeah, $20, it's either I put a food on the table or I don't. So it is what it is. All right. Thank you for watching. And please leave your comments down below. But also, please, guys, be respectful to one another. I respect everyone's opinion. And you have a right to your opinion as long as you're being respectful. What I don't tolerate is disrespectful opinions. That stuff I have zero tolerance for. So please be respectful down on the comments. And let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Also, developers, don't be shy to get in touch with me. Don't be shy to leave a comment down below. I'm open for conversations. Sure. And think of this like a feedback. Don't think of this like me being negative or me trying to put some negative light. Think of this as a feedback that you can use to learn from the mistakes. In order for you to be successful, first you have to admit, hey, we made a mistake. We didn't listen to the feedback for this. We should have focused on this. Instead, we focused on that. You have to be transparent. You have to be honest. There is no cutting corners to success or to overnight success. No such thing exists. You have to be strategical. You have to be smart. And you have to know what you're doing. All right, guys. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one.